Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today in this webinar. So, along with me, this is Arbuda Dave, and along with me, I also have my colleagues Khanjan and Ayush. They are from the data science team. Most of you might know me, so I'm from the sales and marketing team. So today we are taking a topic of predictive analytics with Smarten for credit card approval. And here we are going to use data of one of the financial services company and going to showcase you that how we can create this predictive analytics use case. And this is mainly for the citizen data scientist team. So as you I mean, most of our customers would already know what is citizen data scientist, but for all the new joinees, I would like to inform that citizen data scientist is a term coined by Gartner. And according to Gartner, the business users, those if they are able to create, share, and use predictive analytics use cases without writing any statistical algorithm, then they are known as citizen data scientists. So they can be the business users among your organization, those who understand their data really well, and they are able to create this use case without writing a statistical algorithm or any code. They are citizen data scientists. So we are going to use Smarten. I'll just give a very brief about what Smarten is. So Smarten, as you our existing customers may already know because they're using it, but for all those who have joined this webinar for the first time, Smarten is traditional as well as modern BI in one platform. So Smarten provides reports and dashboards. It provides crosstabs. It also provides pixel perfect print reports. So in case if you want to, generate some static reports like maybe your invoice or your ledger or maybe your, balance sheet, all those pixel perfect print reports can also be designed using Smarten. It provides geo maps, etc. So majority of the traditional BI components, we have that, and we have covered majority of BI hypes. Apart from that, we also have the modern BI components. Smarten also provides the modern BI components in one platform. So under modern BI components, we have self-serve data preparation, which allows users to prepare the data without writing ETL scripts or SQL queries. We have key influencer analytics, so that automatically identifies, like whenever a user is creating a predictive use case, it automatically identifies the target and predictors which will affect that target. Then we have assisted predictive modeling. So assisted predictive modeling allows users to create, share, and use predictive use cases without writing any algorithm. Sentiment analysis. So sentiment analysis allows users to analyze the text related data. So in case if you have any data coming in from your social media handles or maybe from your employee feedback form or customer feedback form, that kind of data you can analyze, and system will help you identify that your users or maybe your employees, whether they have a positive sentiment or a neutral sentiment or negative sentiment. So you can even analyze your text related data. Anomaly alerts, we are soon going to release that, and we will also host a webinar for the same, and we'll keep you updated. So anomaly alerts will automatically identify any anomaly within the data, and it will send notification to the users. Clickless analytics, most of our customers might be using it, but for all those who have joined new, clickless analytics allows users to query in a Google kind of an environment. They can type in their question, and system will automatically answer their question in the form of a graph or chart or maybe a table or name, whatever is suitable to the question you have provided. So this was a very brief of Smarten, which is a traditional and modern BI in one platform. Again, you can visit our website for more details. Today, we will be focusing on the assisted predictive modeling use case, and my colleagues would take that ahead. So I will hand over it to my colleagues, and I have with me, again, I'll repeat, I have with me Khanjan and Ayush. So they will take it ahead. I hand over it to you, Khanjan.
Yeah. Thank you, Abuda. Now let's talk about assistive predictive modeling. What is the assistive predictive modeling? If you don't know how to code in like any languages like Python or Java or anything, or you don't have any kind of in-depth knowledge of data science, so Smarten assistive predictive modeling is coming to your rescue. So uh, it offers end-to-end process from your data preparation to the final prediction that we're getting, and it provides you the interpretation in very simple English language that anyone can understand it. Like some statistics of the models are there, so you have to you can understand it in simple English language. And last one is like ability to provide real time predictions using simulation, master plan, and etc. We will see that functionality in our in today's webinar as well. So today's use case is like credit card approval analytics. So financial institutes nowadays provides many products like credit cards and loans and all the other services. Uh, what finance what they don't know that customer which customer is going to default, which customer is not going to default the credit card bill payment. So so using this use case we can entering the characteristics of the customer, new customers that are coming uh, into your company with application for a new credit card. So using that data we provide we predict how that customer will behave, like they will be default or not default. So uh, on that particular note we can say that it is a good customer or bad customer. So so we can avoid potential losses for our financial institute. So now let's talk about the data set, the target variable that we have. There's credit card approval status. It is a binary target variable. It contains approved or not approved for the credit card application, and there are some influencing factors there that contains customer characteristics like annual income, education, he or she owns a real estate or not, how many family members are there, or it is employed or not, and many more influencing predictors are there. So we will see that in our live demo today. Okay.
Yes, so this was just a very, very quick brief of what we are going to cover in the demonstration. As you may already know that Smarten is noted in Gartner under various report, and we are very proud to say that we are the only company from Asia Pacific to have been noted there. And Gartner has noted Smarten under various reports, and here we have mentioned some of the reports where Smarten has been noted. And these are some of our customers from various industries, like Sher Khan from the stockbroking, IDBI Federal from the insurance, then we have Religare, Abhyudaya Bank, IPCA from the pharmaceuticals, Rekem again from the manufacturing group. So yeah, I mean, we keep on adding new things to Smarten, and we make it very much industry ready. For all the citizen data scientists, so as I said earlier, we are encouraging more and more data literacy and data democratization within your organization. So we have launched a free online course for citizen data scientists. As I said earlier, that citizen data scientist is from the business users team, and someone who is from a non-data science background, those who do not know to write a statistical code, even they can use Smarten and create their own predictive use case. So if they know their business function well, they can create this predictive use case. So we have launched a free online course for citizen data scientists. You can go to smarten.com, and there you will find the free online citizen data scientist course. We have also provided a code here. You can just scan that and you can directly move to that page here. And for I'll share more information on this through email. So anyone interested can log into smarten.com and can find more details regarding the free online course for citizen data scientist. So I think we are done with the presentation. Now let us all see Smarten in action. So we will have a look at the platform here, and we'll see that how we are creating the predictive use case. I'll hand over this to my colleague Ayush. Ayush, you can take it ahead.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, as she and Kanjan have given the overview on Smarten. Let's now move forward with the live example, shall we? Okay, so as we all know, Smarten is 100% a web-based intelligent business analytics platform, serving wide varieties of features. So once you get the license and you will be getting the credentials, you will be able to log into the Smarten. So here I'm using mine, and let's log in. Once you log in, you will be presented to the home screen, which allows you to access every feature on Smarten. Now, you may already know about the self-serve data preparation module, which allows you to prepare your data without writing a single ETL script. Now, since this demonstration is based upon our predictive use case, I have already developed the dataset and uploaded on Smarten. So let's have a look at our dataset. And if you're a little bit fuzzy on how to upload the dataset and prepare the dataset, you can always check our free tutorial on it, available online. Okay, so this is our dataset. There are various fields related with different applicants related with credit card application being rejected or approved. The fields like annual income, family members, days since employed, age, gender, owns real estate, etc. And the last one is, as Kanjan explained in the presentation, is credit card approval status, which is our target, which has only two values, like not approved or approved. So that's what we need to predict for. And if you are from a financial domain who actually proves applicant's request, then your criteria of defining a good person, a good applicant or bad applicant might be different. You might run some analysis like vintage analysis or some specific analysis on your data. But here, to make our example and demo simpler, we have only included the simple fields and all that, and also avoided the financial jargons for this example. Since this data looks good and clean, we can now go forward and start preparing our model. So to do that, so this was the data, and now let's go to our home and start preparing our model. To do that, simply we have to go to new and then Smarten Inside. So the Smarten Inside is the module which allows to prepare our model and predict use case, right? Once you click on that, you will be presented with a screen where you want to choose, you will need to choose your data set. So here in this case, our data set is credit card approval data set. So just clicking on that and clicking on next. Just answer a couple of questions related with your data, and then we will be ready to train the model. And the simple questions like, do you want to run your model on sample data or not? So what happens is sometimes our data is too much huge, like in millions or billions. So the time that it takes to train the model will be longer. So just if you want to test how the model reacts on your data, you can train your model on the sample data or just a small subset of your data to save the time, or just you can go ahead and train with your full data simply. And then second is, do you want to apply the filters on the data set? So what are the filters? If you click on yes, so the filters are like the constraints that depends on your use case scenario. Suppose in your case, you only want to train the model with the person who owns real estate only. So you want to exclude those with who do not own the real estate. Similarly, you want to train a model with academic degree, higher education, and or let's say lower secondary. Similarly, housing type. So what this does is it filters the data with specific values, containing the specific values, and ignore the rest of them, and only train the model based on this data. But since we want to train our model on whole data without any filters, I'm just going to select no and just click on next. And then we will present it with a question is called outliers in a data set. So how do we want to create handle the outliers? What is an outlier? Outlier is an extremely high or extremely low value relative with your data, which differs significantly from rest of our data. And it's bad because it increases variability of our data. And if you train your model with such outliers in your data, then your model might not make any reliable result. So it is advised that you treat your outlier by using one of the techniques. So if I give you an example of an outlier, so what is an outlier? Let's continue with our example of credit card approval. We are issuing credit card to only the adults, right? So we are not issuing credit card to child or any children. So their age should be 18 or more. Now let's say a person is coming off with age 40. So instead of entering 40 by a human error, you are entering 04 instead of 40. So the data is containing a person with age 4 only, which is an outlier because the general range of your data lies between 18 to let's say 70, but this person is having only age 4. And if you train your model with such outliers, then your model will make mistakes in the future. It is likely to make such mistakes. So it is advised to handle such outliers in your data. So you either remove them or replace them. Remove it, just remove those containing outliers row, and replace with some mean value. Okay. And it is not always the case that you remove the outliers. If you know your case study well, use case well, then it depends. You might want to include them in your data as well. But most of the cases, you might want to deal with the outliers. Secondly, it is to handle missing values in the data set. So either we can remove or replace that. Handling missing value means the missing values are the values which do not simply exist in your data set. They are just missing. They are just not there. So either you can remove or replace with some mean values, right? Clicking on next. Right, so here Smarten offers various types of solutions for your predictive use case, like forecasting, where you can estimate the future values based upon the time series, like classification, like regression, frequent pattern mining, clustering, etc. Since this our case is of classification, yes and no, only predicting approved or not approved. So this is our classification scenario. But in case if you don't know what you're dealing with, what your what your problem statement is, in the future iteration of Smarten, we will also be eliminating this step to directly suggest you based upon your data what problem you should be aiming for. Just by uploading your data, the Smarten will automatically suggest you that hey, this problem is of classification. But now let's manually choose classification and continue. As soon as you click on that, you will be prompted by asking that, do you want system to auto recommend target and corresponding predictors? Let me click on yes. So what happens is that whenever possible, Smarten will guide you by recommending the solutions automatically, which could be manually done otherwise. So it is currently running various algorithms and hypothesis tests in the background, all parallelly on the server, to suggest you the best target and the predictors all by itself. If you recall, we have just uploaded our data set. We have not chosen any kind of targets or predictors, anything. Smarten is all by itself. It's trying to suggest the targets and related predictors by itself. Let's see. It takes, depending on your data set, 1 to 2 minutes. So let's see what it comes up with.
Yeah. So by the time this is running all the methods, and by the time it is suggesting us the target and predictors from our data, I would like to inform other new attendees, those who have joined, in case if you have any questions, we are going to take up all the questions after this webinar. So you can put the questions in Q&A section, and yes, we have done a recording of this as well, so I'll be sharing the video recording as well. Yeah, Ayush, you can continue.
Yeah, thank you. So Smarten has suggested us that out of all the fields that we have provided in our dataset, housing type should be your target. So this is its suggestion. And for housing type, if you want to predict housing type, there are several predictors that you might want to include, like age, owns real estate, etc. Since we know that we do not want to predict housing type, since we are dealing with the credit card approval status, we can just change it by clicking on it. And again, it will ask us to suggest or recommend the predictors by itself automatically. So just clicking on that. Let us see what are the suggestions.
So
that
this is like not a hard coded template. Anytime you can change the target. So as soon as Ayush changed the target, you can see automatically it has again suggested us the relevant predictors which will affect our target.
Yeah, so it has suggested us four predictors: education type, owns real estate, income type, and days since employed. And if you observe, it has excluded gender from it, because obviously from our intuition, we can know that gender should not be in any way linked with credit card approval or not approval, right? Otherwise, it would be controversial. So it is understandable. And we can also include or remove any of them if we don't want. Let's say I want to include annual income in my predictors list. I also want family members, age, status, housing type, etc. And I can also remove the suggested predictors as well from the list. Okay. And let's not keep this gender and is employed as our predictors list. Just for no reason. From your business understanding, you can add or remove by yourself. After preparing my list to include my predictors, I will hit on apply, and it will update this influencer reporters graph for me. So what it suggests is it has sorted out the influencers, I mean the predictors which we have selected here by their importance. So first of them is education type, which means education type is having the highest impact on person's credit card application being approved or not approved. And on the contrast, family status is having the least importance. You can also test your assumption, like what if I add gender into it, which is not related, and if you hit and apply, you will see gender is having the least importance on persons or an applications being rejected or approved. So let's just remove that gender from our predictors list and go next. This is the last screen. After clicking on next, we will be seeing our model getting trained. But before that, there is a crucial step called data balancing. So what is data balancing? What happens is that, let's say you have 10,000 customers till now. And out of those 10,000 customers, you have only issued credit card to the 1,000 customers only. And the rest of the 9,000 customers are not having the credit cards. Here is a data imbalance, because in machine learning, what happens is we need to give equal number of example to the model, like 50-50%. But here the ratio is different, 1,000 versus 9,000. So here is a data imbalance. To solve this problem, Smarten offers two solutions. First is oversampling and second is undersampling. So you can choose either of them and see which works best for you. And since this data set doesn't have that much imbalance, we have chosen the data set with balance in mind. So to make this example straightforward, so we are just choosing none and going ahead. You just, there are the solutions, and without writing any single line of code, you just need to know that the solutions are possible at your fingertips, and just you need to use them. Next up, it is that which algorithm do you want to choose? Either select yes for automatically choosing the algorithm, or just no, if you are a bit technical from technical background, you can choose manually any algorithm possible. Smarten provides a list of algorithms like logistic regression, support vector machine, random forest classification, etc. But since you don't know, if we don't know which algorithm is going to work well, so just clicking on yes to automatically identify the algorithm which can work well on our data set, and just clicking on next. Now it will automatically identify which model is going to work best on our data and suggest for us. If you noticed, I have intentionally left this last question about key influencer analytics. That is because we will be taking a look at it once our model gets trained. So it's always better to take a look at in depth once our model gets trained. Yeah, so let's see. Okay, so it was pretty quick. It has identified classification tree algorithm, which has been chosen for our data set with 98.05% accuracy. And if you don't know, is this a good accuracy or bad accuracy, it also gives us a smiley icon to suggest us that this model is a good fit. If the face were frowning, then you would know that the model isn't a good fit at all. See, these are the little visual things which stay along the way with you, which help you understand the process and results, even if you are not an expert in such problems. And that's why we have coined the term citizen data scientist. Right, so it also gives you the simple English interpretation. The model is an excellent fit and all the predictors are accurate. And also another one, but we will be looking at in our interpretation tab. Okay, so the model is trained and it has also automatically created the various visualization by itself based on our data. So first of them is our tree plot. So what is a tree plot? It basically logically bifurcates the decision that we are going to take. For an example, a person is coming of education type secondary. If he is less than 28 age, if his his housing type is something, and if there are less than 3 family members, then there are higher chances that his applications is being approved. So by just looking at this tree, you can logically see how to make decision. Obviously this is not a manually process. This is just to understand how the model is making decisions. So yeah, so that was a tree plot. Just expand each and every node to get the understanding of how it is making the decision. Right. Second one is dimension contribution. It shows based on there are 2 categories in our credit card, right? Approved and not approved. So we can see if I select owns real estate or not. So we can see that there are higher people with owning real estate, means yes, who got their loan up as approved. And on the other side, the people, 62% of the people are who do not own the real estate, and they got the not approved tag on their list. Similarly, we can see the income type or anything. The working and the commercial associate are having highest ratio in not approved category, and working have received the highest in the approved category. So, and this whole visualization is automatically coming from the data itself. There is no model in between. So this is only showing you the translated version of your data, right? And third one is dimension count by person. If you don't know what this visualization is showing, you can always hover over to this information icon and understand what this visualization is all about. And the fourth one is average measure by each category, target category, right? So this was the one of the tabs, which was the overview tab. Next up, we are going to see the interpretation tab. The main objective to interpretation tab is to give the simple English automatically generated interpretation. As we can see, the model is an excellent fit and predictors are accurate. It is automatically written for you. And this is the bar graph that we have already seen before. But here, it has also identified out of these predictors, which predictors are having the highest impact. Like education type, it has identified that education type, income type, and owns real estate are three predictors with the highest influence in detecting the credit card being approved or not approved, right? And not only that, if you scroll below, you will also be able to see some cross-tab analysis for each of them, for each of these predictors, like see education type versus credit card approval status, which is our target. Similarly, income type versus credit card. Similarly, owns real estate versus credit card. And with that, you can see the distribution of approved versus income type in each of the categories, right? And if you don't want to have a look at this table, you can always read the interpretation of it, like contribution of income type commercial associate is highest for the not approved category. Working is highest is for the approved category, and likewise. So this gives you the interpretation of your model depending on your data set. Okay, so now this were interpretation and overview, but what about how to apply our model in the real life scenario? So for that, we are also providing one functionality called apply. This is interesting because let's say a new person is coming, he's having, let's say, academic degree, income, he's a pensioner, he is married, any fictional customer, he's living in house and apartment, he owns real estate, family members are 2, let's say, days since employed are probably, let's say, I'm entering any values, his age is 60 since he is a pensioner, so that makes sense, and his annual income is 4 lakh. And if you just, as soon as you click on apply, you will see the result right away. So based upon this characteristics, you will see his application should be approved. Even if you change something right from here, like he's not married or just doesn't own this, and for any value, right, and you apply, you will get some different result based upon your entered values. And not only that, you will also see the probability or the confidence of model for giving such a result. Because what happens, sometimes some customer might have a mixed outcome, like model might be only confident for 61, let's say 60%. Let's say it has given the result approved, but it is only confident 60%. So it will show you that I am only 60% confident about my result. So further analysis you can do for that. But for this example, it has identified that approved is with a higher confidence. Similarly, to this single apply, its sibling is simulation with more features. So in simulation, the interface is similar, but here you can also play with the values just by dragging these sliders. Like if I want to set an age or 41, so that's, I have to drag this slider, annual income, just like this. And right away, you will see the results here. And not only that, you will also see the predictors impact section here. So it will show you which, depending on this, which predictors are having the high or low impact. Okay, yeah, this chart will change depending on the value you put in here. Like if you change something here, the chart will change. Chart will change here. I hope that makes sense. Okay, the next one is the data tab. And this is a simple data type which we have given the model to train with. Let me just sort the order of the columns so that we can see the predicted column and the real column side by side. This is our real column. Real means that was in our data set when we given it for the first time. And these highlighted colors are the model's prediction. So these are, like you can see, the real value was not approved and model has predicted to be not approved. So this was the data type, and along with this all the fields that we have already given to it for the first time, right? Okay, thank you for listening to me. I was Ayush Shah. I will hand over to Kanjan to present the most powerful and interesting feature on Smarten called Key Influencer Analytics, or KIA. Yeah, handing over to Kanjan.
Yeah, thank you, Ayush. So now let's talk about key influencer analysis. That question Ayush talked about, that he intentionally not talked about it. So here we have seen in interpretation that education type has having highest impact, and then owns the real estate and income type. Three are the predictors that are having highest impact on credit card approval status. But which are the values? We drill down to the values of the education type to identify which values are having highest odds of approving or not approving the credit card. So here it is the academic degree. One customer which have academic degree has a higher odds of credit card being approved, and lower secondary customer having lower secondary education has the lowest odds of approving the credit card. And in the left side of the bottom in interpretation, you can see that it auto generated interpretation that that provides us some insights, some beautiful insights, like association between credit card approval and education type. They are like academic degree, higher education, and secondary special education is significant association between approved, that application be approved. But education type, incomplete higher or lower secondary, that have a association between no credit card approval is not approved. And the odds ratio which we have seen in our right side chart, that not lower secondary has highest odd for not approved, and academic degree has highest odd of being approved. So let's go with the uh, second one. Yeah. So second one is his own real estate. Yeah. So uh, as you can see that credit card customer which owns and real estate has the highest odds for credit card being approved, and the customer who don't own a real estate, it is lower odds for the for credit card being approved. Okay, and the interpretation is telling you the same story as well that I have told you, that I have told you. Yeah. Now let's go for the model summary. In model summary, if you have a data scientist in your team, he is very he's gonna be very happy with this model summary. It provides model statistics like accuracy, precision, and recall, and all that kind of model statistics that a technical person would like to see and analyze it further. Yeah. So now we have to the question is arise that I have to change my target, or some predictors I want to remove, or add is employed as a predictor. So now I have to do all the process by myself from start, or just clicking here, go change parameter model. You can add, remove any predictors. You can change the target as well. It is not hard coded like you have to start from the scratch to change the target or change any predictors. And you can choose that with new target, or a target or added predictor, which algorithm is performing the best in that scenario. Then the data processing steps, like you decided earlier that I don't want to remove or replace outliers, but now you want to check that how my model will react if I remove or replace the outliers. You can compare it by doing this here. You can apply data balancing, or you can handle missing values as well here. And last one is the filters. If you want to apply any filters and any data any predictors like income type. You want to choose one or two income types there. So you can choose and simply clicking OK. You can rerun the model, and it will provide you with new model or some kind of improved or not improved accuracy as per your chosen criteria. Uh, Now let's go to the settings tab, and in settings tabs we have multiple algorithms for classification problem. You can see the classification tree was chosen. Why that is chosen? It has it ran the all the models simultaneously, and check that classification tree has the highest accuracy. So it selected the classification tree as a model, but you can change the model if you want by simply clicking the on that, and you can fine tune your parameters of the algorithm. Like it is a technical part, as you can see, like uh, Smarten is also automatically identifies max depth for decision tree. So if you want to increase or decrease the decision depth of your decision tree, you can click here and apply here. So Smarten will retrain your model with new max depth that you have chosen. Okay. So that's it from our side. Thank you for taking the journey of Smarten assistive predictive model with us. And I
All
ask
right.
Arboda. So
Yeah, so we invite all the attendees to use the Q&A section of the Zoom panel, and we are here to take as many questions as we can. So you can use the Q&A section from the Zoom panel, and we will take up some questions to answer it live here. All right. So I'll pick up some questions. I'll read it out loud such that everyone is able to benefit that from that question. And my colleagues, Kanjan and Ayush, will take up the questions. Right. So I'll take up the first question. So first question is, will you please explain the filters? How will that change the process?
Okay, I would like to take this question. Filters, as we have seen when we were pre-processing in the data, so what are the filters? Let's say uh, a company who is trying to open their branch in Ahmedabad, suppose, and they have the data from all over India. Now they want to predict, let's say, make a predictive model. So rather than training data of every person from India, they only filter the data uh, for those people who are only living in Ahmedabad or in Gujarat, because the preferences change geographically. So there is a filter. You have just filtered your data on only for the people living in Ahmedabad and excluding those in the rest of the India. So that is called filter. And actually, filters do not change your original data. It just changes your data temporarily, so that the model can be trained. So I think that makes sense. That's a filter, and you
Yeah.
filter your data. Yeah.
Yeah, so hope we have answered that question. So basically, you get an interface. Ayush has already covered that during the demo, and that filters will help you, filter the data. I'll pick up next question. So next question says, you said sometimes keeping outlier in the data is good. Can you explain that?
Okay. In this example, I think let's take another example. Let's say a company who makes products of health related issues, or cardio or related issue, whatever. So let's say they're making a watch, right? So which detects high blood pressure and alerts you when the blood pressure gets high or something like that. So in your data set, okay, so in your data set, let's say you have tracked every person's BP, and generally our resting blood pressure is less than 100, and the person who is going to develop some heart disease or in a near future going to have a heart attack, there might be some high value like 170 or 200, let's say. So that's an outlier. Okay, so if you remove those outliers from your data and train your model, then your model will never see such values like 170 or 200 because they were detected as an outlier. So that's why I said it depends on your use case, what you're dealing with. If you know that such outliers should exist in your data, then just keep it. Otherwise you might want to continue removing those outliers. Yeah, so that was my answer to keeping the outliers.
Yeah, thank you, Ayush. So, I can see there are a lot of, business users related questions. So, to encourage you to learn Smarten and create your own predictive use cases, we have launched a free online course. So, details of that you will find it on our website, smarten.com. So, that's a free online course wherein, business users or people from the non-data science background will be able to benefit from that course, and that will allow you to use Smarten and create your own predictive use cases. I can see one more question. It says, what is training? Sir, can you please elaborate your question? It is very short, if you can. All right, so we have the elaborated question. So it is like, what do you mean by the term model training? If anyone would like to take it up, what do you mean by the term model training?
Okay, model training. Let's say, let's consider model as a child. So once the child is born, he doesn't know anything. Okay, so we need to teach him that, showing the examples like this is an app, this object which looks like red and is circular is an apple, this is banana. Okay, so we are just teaching him that by showing the examples. In the similar fashion, we have a model, it doesn't know anything about our use case, so we show it the examples of, let's say, this credit card members are getting their credit card rejected. So see this example and come up with your logic, what generalized logic, how to in future detect people with the which person are going to have a credit card or not credit card. So just teaching is called training here in this sense. So this is called model training. Yeah, so I think that makes sense.
Yes, thank you, Ayush. So here, what Smarten does is that it picks up your historical data, and then based on that, it trains the model, and which you can apply on your new data or fresh data. So you can basically leverage your historical data and create a predictive use case, which is again like training your model. And then, you can apply and see that, let's say future, if the new customers are coming, whether they will have their credit card approved or not, or maybe if you have any customer related data, you can train your data and find out that whether the customers would be loyal to your company or will leave your company. Or same way, if you have data related to your brokers, or maybe your agents or dealers, you can actually use that historical data and find out that whether they will be loyal to your company or not. So the different type of use cases can be prepared, and Ayush has very elaborately given answer like what is the term model training. I'll pick up another question. So the question goes like this: how is auto suggestion of predictors and target helpful, and how does that work?
Okay. So, auto suggestion predictor and target is useful when you don't know about the corresponding target and predictors for your use case. Like you have not an in-depth knowledge about your data set and what should be your target. So auto suggesting is very helpful when that case is applied to your data and your use case. And uh, second question is, how does that work? Like Smarten is running hypothesis testing and various algorithms in backend to provide you with best target and corresponding best corresponding predictors for your data set. I think it should cover it. Yeah. Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
So now we have one more question. Question goes like this: what if I have real-time data? What I what I'll be able still I'll be able to make the predictions?
Yes, you can make prediction while you have real time data. We have functionality. Smarten provides a functionality that training model automatically using scheduler. You have to set the scheduler, like if your real time data is coming every 5 minutes, so you can create a scheduler in assistive predictive modeling, so to refresh your model every 5 minutes. So when your data is refreshing, your model will be automatically refreshed, and you will make the prediction out of that process. So you can create make predictions till you have the real time data. Yeah.
So the next question which I am taking up, I mean, which I'm reading out loud, is
Yeah.
like is the question which I mean most of the users have asked, and so let us answer this in the webinar such that everyone can benefit. So question goes like, how many records do we need at minimum to train the model? So this question again is in the association of training the models. How many records do we need at minimum to train the model?
Okay. So it depends, it varies, at as your use case, what's your use case is defining, like you have to find out the seasonality, for example. So for seasonality, you have to take last 1 year of historical data. So so model can find out the seasonality in your data. It has seasonality or not. So it varies with your use cases. For it's not that rule of thumb that we have to follow these guidelines to train your data, but you can, in our case classification, if you have the data imbalancing in your data set, like just I used to explain what data imbalancing is. So you have to balance it out of that data, like collect it, or using some of the techniques like oversampling or undersampling. So you have to collect that balanced data set, or you can generate it automatically. So I think it should have covered the answer that I have
Yes,
given. Yeah,
yes.
thank you.
Um, so I think this is the last question for the day, and it goes like, can we change the model configurations once the model is created, or I will have to create a new model?
Okay, okay, yeah, okay. So as I have told, like in our use case, the change parameter model screen, you can add or remove the predictors, and you apply any pre-processing steps or filters. You don't have to create a new model every time you have something that requires filters, or removing outliers, or removing or replacing the missing values. So you don't have to create a new model every time. You can change your model configuration anytime you want, using change parameter model screen.
Okay. So we got one more question. So let us
Okay.
pick it up pick the last questions as well.
Yeah.
So it goes like, how can we make prediction on multiple new records?
Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So for multiple records, you have to, first of all, you have created the model, then you have to save the model. After saving the model, you will present it with the option of mass supply. So using mass supply, you can upload that CSV or Excel file to the mass supply module, and you can make predicts on multiple records.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
So basically, you will have to save it. Once you
Yeah.
save the model, automatically the mass apply option
Uh,
would be enabled, and
yeah.
therein you can either upload a Excel sheet, or in
Uh,
case if you have prepared a data set, that
yeah.
also you can integrate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have few more minutes. In case if someone wants to ask any question, they can put it in Q&A section. We have taken, I mean, almost a lot of questions we have taken today. So if still you have other questions, we would be glad to answer. And again, I would like to say that, yeah, so I think we have question again. Thank you, sir. Thank you. So it's a compliment from Chiragji. Sir, Q&A section is available to the users for, people to ask questions. So he's thanking us. Thank you so much, sir, for joining today. So he's thanking us that it was a good webinar and he got the understanding about data analysis and how does it work. Thank you, Chiragji. Thank you,
Thank
sir.
you.
So Ayush and Kanjan, it was a great compliment for you guys.
Yeah. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, Chiraksa, for your high compliments.
Yeah. Still, if we have any questions, we can take it up. We have a few minutes more. Okay. All right. Simran ma'am has a question. Okay. So the question goes like, do we need to supply columns that are descriptive or general names for columns such as A, B, C, etc. will work the same?
Yes, you can supply any column name. ABC will also work, but this might happen that you may forget what A represents, B represents, and C represents. I mean, it doesn't require descriptive. It will work otherwise, but it's for our easiness that we use descriptive names or general names in the columns.
Yeah. So while automatically when it gives the interpretations as well, that this column affects this value and this, so it would become easy if you have given descriptive names to understand the interpretation as well. Else, even if you give ABC, it is still going to work. Thank you, ma'am. Hope we have answered your question. So, a lot of attendees were also asking me the questions related to data preparation, etc. So we have dedicated webinar videos available on smarten.com for data preparation from various data sources like Excel, SQL, and even Google Analytics, etc. So those videos you can check. And Ayush, if you can, show them the smarten.com and the free online course page, that would be really good.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, if you can just share that. So yes, attendees, we are still there. In case if you have any questions, we can definitely answer that. So basically you can go to smarten.com, and there you will have this free online citizen data scientist course, which is freely available. We have created some YouTube videos and you can learn it at your own pace. So this is for mainly for the users like you, those who are interested, those who know their business function really very well, and using their data. If you want to create a predictive use case, this free course is going to be really helpful to you. All right, so I think there are no more questions, so we can wrap it up. So, all right, attendees, thank you very much for joining us today and making this webinar really interactive. And we will share the video of this webinar to you. And I would also like to thank Ayush and Khanjan for making this webinar highly interactive and beautifully presenting it to the attendees. All the attendees, we will keep you posted regarding our upcoming updates and upcoming webinars. We would wish that you are participating in each of our webinars. All right. So thank you, everyone. Thank you, Ayush, Khanjan. Thank you, all the
Thank you.
attendees. And you all have a nice day.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank
Thank
you very
you.
much.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.
Bye. Yeah.